On a recent episode of the Wayspotters podcast, my dad said this on purpose.
While it's not 100% Wayfarer related, it is 100% Wayfarer adjacent. Hello, agents, trainers, keepers, pilots, eighth wallers, and our beloved explorers and wayfinders. Welcome to episode 223 of the Wayspotters podcast. Here at Wayspotters, we want to do everything we can to help you become a better wayfinder. As we've always said, we want to educate, entertain, and excite. Wayspotters is brought to you by the good people at the Pokemon Professor Network and our friends at Pickaxe. And today is Friday, April the 24th, 2026. I'm Blame Jamal, and I'm here with my good friend, Chris. Chris, how are you, sir?
I am wonderful, man. How you doing?
And we are at that time of the calendar where there's so much stuff going on. You've got stuff going on with Jackson. We got the NFL draft. We've got the NHL and NBA playoffs. We've got Major League Baseball. There's so much stuff going on. And it's the time of year. I just want to thank everybody for taking an hour out of their day to listen to the Wayspotters podcast.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's a busy time. So much going on.
It is. It is a busy time, and especially there's some busy things going on in the news. So let's jump right to the news.
And now, the latest Niantic spatial and Scopely news from the Wayspotters podcast, presented by the Pokemon Professor Network.
Still no word on the ambassadors. I think they're probably still reaching out and signing NDAs and putting ink to pen and stuff. I haven't gotten an email, so I probably didn't get chosen again, which is poopy, but hey, whatever. There's now a Japanese specific section on the forums with Japanese speaking staff. So if you're Japanese speaking and that's your first language, then you have a first language Japanese section of the forum just for yourself. So that's great. And there's a couple of people who were like, hey, what about this language? Hey, what about this language? And I was like, I think English and Japanese is probably where they're going to draw the line, right? Just because the two speaking populations are so big in those areas, right? So there's a little translate button if you're on there and if somebody posts in a language that's not yours, it'll have a little globe icon on it. You can just press it and it'll translate it for you. It's not the greatest, but it's also not the worst. So
right, it's close enough. It'll get you to understanding.
Exactly. Yeah, it's close enough. And finally, Peridot is shutting down. I know it's not Wayfarer related, but it's Niantic Spatial, and I thought I'd throw it out there. So, that game was out for 3 years. It's wild.
It's wild. You know how people always say, does anybody still play that game when they're talking about Pogo? I think you could really say that about Peridot. I played it for 18 minutes, and then I kind of set it down. So.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
All right. Let's go ahead and jump right into topic number one.
This is Elf from Space, and I spot topic number one.
Right. So, Chris, topic number one is a topic that I want to talk about that's called, are we running out of POIs? And for the Jamal energy portion of this, I think that we're running out of obvious slam dunk POIs. Everything left is either borderline, over optimized, or super, super stretched when it comes to criteria. Now, I don't want to talk out of both sides of my mouth, but before the show, you and I just talked about an area that was completely blank, which was just, as you would say, bonkers. But I don't think that you're going to find that in every city. But what I want to talk about in this part of the show is, I think newer wayfinders coming in right now are going to have a harder time kind of finding really good things to nominate. I think all the playgrounds and churches are gone by this time. And I think why we see a lot of people frustrated on the forums is because there's a lot of things that people are nominating, myself included, that are borderline. Some of the nominations I'm putting out are making your eye twitch. They're making Agent X's eye twitch. And several other people in our Discord, like, you nominated what? I don't even show them to Elf from Space anymore because I know what she's going to say. But that's where I sit, Chris. I think all of the obvious stuff has been nominated and is in the game. And if it is super obvious and it's not nominated, it's because it's in a cell where something else is already there.
I was just going to say that. I think there are certain areas where you don't have wayfarers who are very altruistic, and there's stuff out there in a lot of areas because people who are doing their research are finding stuff that's in an empty cell and nominating that one thing, getting their Pokéstop or their gym, and then moving on, right? Like we were talking just before the show, I've got 35 that I need to do. Half of them won't even become power stop spots, but I'm going to do them, right? You just got to look beyond.
Because you're that guy.
Yeah, because I'm that guy, and not every area has a guy or girl who's willing to do that, right? So,
right.
Some areas do, and some areas don't.
So, I mean, I can feel people's frustration when they're like, "There's nothing left. There's nothing good left to nominate." The thing that I have going for me in Charlotte is Charlotte loves to tear stuff down and put something new. They'll tear down a perfectly good city block to build a perfectly little bit better city block. And they'll put things, or this is Charlotte. There's a surface parking lot. We're going to put an apartment complex there. And I'm like, rock on. That's 4 empty cells that I can go nominate things in. And that's kind of the world I'm living in now when I say things are borderline. I've showed you a couple of my nominations. And you've kind of given me kind of the side eye. And I'm like, it's Charlotte. It's Charlotte, baby. Oh, and I want to say this right now. I want to give a thank you. A sincere thank you, partly tongue-in-cheek, to everybody who has changed their bonus location to Charlotte, North Carolina. Thank you. A lot of people have done it out of spite to try to find my nominations and vote them down, and I only say that because they send me DMs, some of them on WhatsApp, where I can't figure out who it is, and I don't really care. But some of them have been like, hey, I'm in Charlotte. I want to see what you're nominating. And my locals love it because things are just flying through. To give you an example, I was showing Chris, our last show, I told Chris I was going to go out and nominate things in this one area. I found 20 nominations in this one area, and I nominated them on Sunday afternoon while I was listening back to the show. And as of recording today, Friday, I've got a decision on all of them. I withdrew one. So 19 POIs were approved and 17 went in the game. Chris, I couldn't tell you a period of time where I had 17 things approved in a 6 or 7 day, I said it, 6 or 7 day span. Like that is cool. Yeah. I still can't believe it. And even with that, I still think we're oversaturated, and I'm personally stretching criteria, and I'm going to talk about that. That's a little tease. I'm going to talk about stretching criteria and pushing the envelope. But I want to see, do you agree with me that we're kind of scraping the bottom and everything right now is just kind of mid, or do you think it's different?
I mean, I'm gotten back into reviews again, and like it's a lot of stuff that's just like meh. Like it's worth it. I approve it. It's getting into the game. There's not a lot that's exciting out there anymore in a lot of areas, and it's kind of crazy to think that we're gonna get to a point, and we're probably a few years away from this, where stuff's just mapped, right? Like you're gonna have to travel into rural areas to try and find things, and you're really gonna have to get creative with your picking of your points of interest. And like if we want stuff to vote on, maybe Niantic at some point is going to have to start to relax criteria a little bit just to give people stuff to do, right? Is that the road that they want to go down, or are they going to get to a point where it's like, hey, we're going to sunset Wayfarer because everything's done and there's nothing for you to do? It's really interesting. I think we're a couple of years away from that, and I can see the look on your face, so I'm going to let you talk now.
Can you repeat what you just said there? Niantic's going to have to do what? Say that into my good ear. They're going to have to do what?
They're going to have to relax criteria.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm glad you said it this time and not me. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Send all your hate mail to Chris at Pokemon
ProfessorGlaw@gmail.com.
Yeah, there you go. So would you say yes, we're running out of good nominations, or no, we're not running out of good nominations?
I think that that's a bit of a loaded question, and I think the answer to that is the most Wayfarer answer I could give. It depends on where you live. Because if you're in downtown New York, probably.
Yeah.
Right? But if you're in Durham Region, Ontario, or if you're in kind of the suburbs of Charlotte where you are, where there's always new construction and there's things getting torn down and put back up, then you'll probably have stuff to do, right? But I think for the most part, a lot of areas are tricked out, for a lack of a better term, and there's nothing really left for a lot of people to do. And I think that this is going to do more to drive players away than it would to attract new players, because at some point we're going to be left with just the people who really, really want to do this, which isn't necessarily a bad thing.
Right. Because I think some of the hardcore Wayfarers really push back on the, I just play Pokemon Go and I just want my Pokestop. And again, man, I tell you, I really would love it if you had to nominate through the website. I think that would give the Wayfarer team ultimate control over what gets on the map and the way in which things get phrased. But then people say you're going to isolate the Pokemon Go trainers. And I go back to a time where you couldn't nominate through Pokemon Go. You just couldn't do it. You had to do it through Ingress. But I think that's kind of a long-term thing. Do they want to lose that immersion of I'm nominated a Pokestop? Or do you want to continue to tick off and get the eye roll from Wayfarers when they come on the forum and go, where's my Pokestop? And then, Cindy Poo has got to, dust off her S2 cell spiel, which, they don't really want us to talk about S2 cells, but we all know about S2 cells. So it's kind of like you can cut that. We could save ourselves so much more time by just nominating through the website, but that's neither here nor there. So you don't think that we're running out of Pokestops. You just think we need to be more nuanced. Now,
yes,
I'm contemplating a show, Chris, and this might be right up your alley. I'm contemplating a whole show on remove and replace. And I'm trying to figure out how I want to position it. But that's kind of the area that I'm probably going to be moving into is, okay, so there was this strip mall and they tore down the strip mall and they're building kind of a mixed use area. There's going to be some apartments and a hotel and a park, blah, blah, blah. So all of the things that were there before are no longer valid. And I'm eager to see the way that the new thing is laid out with the cells, so I can go and nominate the new things and then remove the old things, and then we'll get halos.
Yes. So that actually reminds me, I need to, maybe this weekend, because Sunday's supposed to be nice. There's a park not too far from me where they have completely wiped out the whole thing. They just bulldozed the entire park. There was a park, a playground, a soccer field, a splash pad, a couple of park signs. This park was pretty tricked out, and it's gone. Like, all of it gone. So I need to go down there, and much to the chagrin of my locals, get Niantic to delete it all. But I think I'm going to do it through the help chat. I'm just going to say, hey, here's a video. Here's a picture of the sign that says, hey, we're tearing it down. This is what it's going to look like later on this year. So I'll just get them to remove it all, because it's like nobody can get in there anyway. So the only people who are going to care right now are spoofers. So I need to get all that removed, because then like remove and replace. That's exactly what I'm going to do.
So I think the way I look at it is replace and then remove instead of remove and then replace. So I personally, what I would do personally, and I know this kind of like raises an eyebrow to some of the old school Wayfarers, is I would wait until the construction is finished. I would nominate the new things and then I would remove the old things. There are some people out there that say as soon as that mural is painted over, you got to go remove it.
Yeah. I don't want it to get to a point where they build a playground kind of near it, and then Niantic goes, no, it's still there. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to go in and take the picture and the video, and say, hey, look at this. It's nothing but mud right now.
Right. Yep.
So just to get it that way, when they do rebuild it, I can go onto the map and plan things out in the cells properly and not have to worry about stuff getting moved. It's like, you know what I mean?
Right. No, that makes perfect sense. And there's just different schools of thought on how you should do it. Just my nature, Chris, just the way I look at things, I don't want to negatively impact people's playing area just because I want to make it better in the long term. I would rather wait. I don't see the harm of something remaining on the map while it's not there when I know something else is coming. Some people are like, it's not there, remove it. To me, I don't see the harm. It's like, show me on the doll where this hurt you. So if, for example, there's, like I told you 8 or 9 shows ago, there's a wall where there's a mural and they painted it over, or actually they just kind of power washed it off back to its brick, and there's plans to put a new mural there. So nobody in our community seems to care that the mural has been washed off the wall, because we all know something's coming. And when the new thing is there, I'll take the picture of the new thing. I'll get the other one removed so I'm not repurposing it, and I'll get that on there. But to me, I don't, and I'm sure people who are listening to this will disagree, I don't see anything wrong with leaving it there until the new thing comes. I don't think it's hurting anything. My opinion. You might differ, but I don't think it's hurting anything leaving it there till the new thing comes.
I mean, you're probably not necessarily wrong about it not hurting anything. You're 100% right, but I can see that, and I completely understand that, and I know that there are people out there who are just like exactly the same way, and they're like, yeah, why would you delete it unless you can replace it? Totally get it, but like I'm a map purist and things like this. So let me show you the park while we're talking about this. There's a lot less here than I thought there was. Does that come up? Yep. So there's this gazebo that leads into the park. There's the sign over here. There's the playground, and then the splash pad. And I don't know if this bridge is still there or not. I'd have to go find out. But this is like from this. This is for if you're listening on audio. This is a park on the corner of a major intersection near where I live, and you go in, and it's honestly, this park is really, really old. There's a giant field in here that isn't being used for anything. I thought there was a soccer field there for some reason. There's a giant field up the top, and there's like a playground, a splash pad, and like a dirt parking lot that's a circle. It's kind of like a roundabout parking lot. It's weird. But they've tore this down like to the mud, to the point where they've got it all fenced off in here. So like you can't even get in there to get to that one or that one. Like the ones on the outside, sure, I could probably leave those. I can't imagine, like they tore down that gazebo too. But like I can't imagine that they won't put a sign there where the sign Pokestop is, so I could probably leave that one. This one's a gym, so maybe I leave that one. Now that I'm looking at it, there's another gym over here in a different cell. So like those two are going to go. You can't get to them. The only people who are using that one are spoofers. But I think to your point, maybe I leave the ones on the outside and revisit it later, just so the guys in that area can have their gym still.
Right. So yeah, no, I get it. You're a map purist, and my only pushback would be it's not hurting anything, so I just leave it. But
yeah, fair.
But like I said, I appreciate your position, and I support you doing what you think you need to do. Now, the reason why I always say let sleeping dogs lie is there's plenty of things that have been moved, demolished, and I haven't been back to that area since I nominated it. So it's like for the last year, everybody's been just playing along, being good, and it's not there, but they might not know how. I would say this: the average Pokemon Go player, I would assert, probably doesn't know how to go into the forums and
for sure.
and remove it. And, you know, I would say they would say, oh, that's not here. And they just keep going. My guess is the average Pokemon Go player doesn't know how to do that. That would be my guess.
Mm-hmm.
Think I'm wrong there?
We did a whole.
Right?
No, I think you're 100% right. And we did a whole poll and like a whole show on
that's right.
whether or not Pokemon Go players actually read descriptions.
Yes.
Correct. I think you could. I think you're right. I think you could extend it to the average Pokemon Go player does not care what the point of interest of their spinner is.
Yes.
I don't think they care.
Yep. And I think you're absolutely right about that because of the number of things on the forum where people are like, why are you making a big deal of this? Why can't I have this little free library in my front yard? You know, they're like, hey, who cares? So I think you're right. So, all right. I want to get on to topic number 2 because I want to get on to my confession. But let's do this. Let's go to topic number 2. All right. So topic number 2. This is what I want to call, and I want to get your honest opinion on this. And if you need to call me out, call me out. Won't hurt my feelings. But is using S2 strategy cheating? So my part is I think painting the corners, as I've called it with my locals, is it just understanding the rules better than anybody? Is it playing smarter, not harder? And if it's allowed in the game, it's fair game. So, what are your thoughts on using the S2 cells to your advantage? This is where the saying, what's a few meters between friends, comes in. And it means like that example I used when you first came on the show, where I showed you that statue and the platform. And the statue platform was in 4 different cells because it sat right on the border. And I put the pin in the most optimal place for the player. It's still on the statue, but it might not be where you walk up to the statue and look at its face. It was kind of on the back right shoulder is where I put the pin, but it's still touching the statue. So what do you think about that? Is S2 optimization gaming the system? Is it not what Niantic intended? Like, what are your thoughts?
So I think that it's people are using the cells in a manner in which Niantic 100% did not intend us to do. But I think that they grossly underestimated the resourcefulness and the intelligence of the nerd community when they set this up. If they set it up in a manner in which they were just like, oh, they'll never figure it out. We're so sneaky. No, you're not, right? They had to have known that this was going to happen. And I honestly don't think that it's abusing the system at all. Unless you're being manipulative about it and doing it in a manner in which Niantic has expressly said that they're against. And if you're pinning stuff 10, 15 meters away from an object just to put it in a new cell, that's 100% abuse, right? And Niantic said that. They're just like, that's abuse. But I honestly,
that's different.
I would be a huge hypocrite if I were to come on this show and be like, yeah, it's gaming the system and it's abuse, because I use S2 cells every nomination. Every single nomination I do, I check the cells.
Right. Now, there's 2 things. One, putting something in an empty cell, not touching the POI, is abuse. And I do not condone that. And I think people who do that, there's a special place in hell for them. Well, probably not really, but anyhow, you get my point. That's a little hyperbolic. Putting the pin in a really good, really strategic location while it's still touching the POI is something else. Moving something from a legitimate position to a illegitimate position is also abuse. And I don't move things anyway. I'm like, if it's there, it's there. I'm like, I don't really care. Like, I'm not the move guy. I'll move something if it's like really bad. But in my area, we don't have a lot of people that are moving things. Like you and I have both seen these clusters where they're just on top of each other and people have moved them from the mountains down to the city. I'm not for that. But I am all for understanding the rules of the game, which is why we have a podcast. I think we would be naive if we didn't say we understand the rules. I would say we're in the top 1% of understanding the rules. Not to toot my own
100%.
horn, to say that I'm smarter than anybody, but I truly believe if you sat me down with any Wayfarer in the world, I know as much or more than them, right? Maybe not some of the ambassadors who get insider information, but you give me a map and you give me the Google car, I'll find some stuff to put on the map. Believe you me. And I have done it for people in 7 or 8 different countries. I didn't say 6, 7 this time on purpose. 7 or 8 different countries, I've done that. And we'll do it again. So I want to go to my confession, Chris, and I want to do this here. I want to call this part of the show Confessions of a Cell Optimizer. Now, can you pull up that before map on the screen for us? And this before map, for those of you guys who are not watching either the YouTube version of this or you're not watching it on Spotify. Oh, and we just figured out Apple Podcasts is going to have a video service soon. So soon you'll be able to watch the podcast on Apple Podcasts. Yeah, I just found that out. But if you're not watching this on Spotify, go find it. Go find it on YouTube. We'll tell you all about that at the end of the show. So, for those of you who are watching, what you see is a undisclosed area of Charlotte, North Carolina. We'll just leave it at that.
Undisclosed. Nice. I like that.
If you can figure out in Charlotte where this is, you can figure it out. I don't really care. Anyhow, some of the things I've heard over time is that when you optimize cells, it leads to unnatural clusters. It leads to local manipulation. So I'm going to admit the things that I've done, the decisions that I've made, and would I do it again? Sure. And what's a few meters between friends? So what you're looking at here is the Wayfarer map, and it is fully optimized with all the plugins that are available. You can judge whether or not you want plugins or you want a vanilla map. Me, I'm a min-max guy, so if I'm going to go out and spend a couple hours in an area, I'm not going to nominate something that's not going to show up in the game. Some other people are totally altruistic, and they do. If I'm putting the pin somewhere, I'm doing it so it shows up so I can spin it. I would say hack it, but you know that's a whole year past now. All right, so Chris, you've seen this map, and we've had many discussions about this. I showed you this map, and I told you that I was going to get a whole lot of POIs approved, and you kind of nodded your head, but kind of shook your head, and, you know, we kind of agreed to kind of disagree on some of the pin placements I was going to put. I was literally going to paint some corners and be creative about the way in which I took my main photo and my supporting photo. Wasn't going to deceive anybody, but I was going to do it to be the most advantageous to get it to a show in the game. Now, for everybody looking, it's probably 8 to 10 tennis courts in a cluster. There's a lacrosse field where they play field lacrosse. There's a park. There's a swimming place, an indoor swimming place. And then in the bottom right corner, there is a soccer field and a practice field. And the way the grids are laid out, there's, you know, half a dozen POIs on the map. But the way I would look at this, Chris, I would say this is a underutilized area that deserves some TLC.
100%.
So
100%.
If you want
There's a lot there.
Yeah. So if you want to go to the after picture, and I just updated this today, I nominated 20 POIs in this area. I withdrew one because it needed to be withdrawn. I should have nominated it. Let's just say that. So there was one that I withdrew. So I had 19 net nominations. All 19 were approved, and 17 of the 19 are going to appear in the game. There's 2 that I liked, and I made sure they were 22 meters away, so they're going to be eligible to be a power spot. But this area is going to end up with 17 new POIs, and it's going to trigger 2 gyms. So to me, this is a win. But if you take a look, especially in the kind of center right area with the tennis courts, some people would say, Jamal, there should be 2 POIs for all those tennis courts, and you got 6. And I think that's where some people will push back on me.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, like, for me, I depending on my mood would do every single one of them too. But like 1, 2, 3, 4, there's at least 5 there. Like 5, legitimately 5, because like I can't zoom in on this. We talked about this last week. Like those 4 are clustered together. That could be some people would say that's 1. Some people would say that's 4. This one's clustered together again, 4 versus 1. And then you've got people out there, they're just like, no, these are tennis courts. That's 1 POI for all those tennis courts. And like, this is what we talked about last week. I argue, what's the difference between playing a sports game on this football field that's 1 POI versus a sport, or playing a sport on this tennis court that's 1 field, right?
Right.
That's what a lot of people are just like, if I can play a sports on this one and 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 this one, why can't they all be 1?
Now, the thing that when I got on sale IRL, no, you're right. The way that I was explaining it to my buddy was they're individually wrapped, right? And what I mean by individually wrapped, each one of those tennis courts was confined in a net. So, like, it looks like a conglomerate of 8 to 10 tennis courts, but they were individual tennis courts with their own little portable scoreboard and their judges station and a place for people to sit and watch. So in a vacuum, that's its own tennis court. So I felt good about nominating them. It wasn't like it was just an open area with tennis courts. You could have a tournament match in each one of those at the same time, and it wouldn't disturb any of the other ones because they're literally individually wrapped, if that makes sense.
No, and so being individually wrapped is kind of the guideline that Niantic has set out. And if you've got like 4 of them inside one fenced area, Niantic's guideline is that's 1 POI. But like if these tennis courts are individually wrapped, then you can absolutely make the argument that they each deserve their own POI. So,
yeah. Now, the cool thing about this, like once I got on site, and Ken texted me and was like, "Hey, what are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm 15 deep in nominating. I'll hit you back when I get done." If you look at that map, Chris, and you look at kind of the right sit dead in the top and the middle where there's those 2 POIs up there, you'll see that it looks like they dug out some earth, and you can see some of the famous North Carolina red clay mud. It looks like a trail right there, right? So had I not been on site, that's a whole extension of a greenway they dug there. So I walked on the greenway, and they just finished paving it, and they put up trail markers. So if you look, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trail markers on that greenway that if I had not been out exploring, which is kind of what you're supposed to do when you're wayfaring, I would have never known that I didn't know that greenway existed. I've lived in Charlotte almost 20 years, and I had never been in this area of Charlotte. Like, this is not anywhere near anywhere I go on a daily basis. This is a completely new area that I would have not been in if it had not been for Niantic Wayfarer. So what you see there is they're digging out that greenway, and then on the bottom, what you can't see is there's another greenway with some more empty cells over there that I'm going to go check out. So I'm going to be able to add a lot more to it. Yeah. So if they were to take an updated picture of this area now, that would look paved in as opposed to just the dirt. And again, if you look at the POIs, I didn't do anything wrong, but I made sure that they were in their own cell. Now, I did in my secondary picture, I did the map with the cords on it. So if someone questioned it, they can see I was standing right there in front of it, but they lined up nicely with the cells. So if people say, Jamal, you're playing fast and loose with the rules, I would say the complete opposite. I would say if I was playing fast and loose with the rules, the game would not allow me to make these nominations. However, the game fully allows me to put one POI in every cell. And as long as it's a legitimate POI, I'm going to put it in every cell. So would I do it again? Absolutely. What's a few meters between friends? What's a few meters between friends means I don't have to put the pin at the normal place of the tennis court. I can put the pin in the upper left corner, in the upper right hand corner, as long as that pin is not right set dead in the middle where the net is, if it's at an entrance or at a point where it's not going to interfere with the game and you can interact with that spinner. I think that to me is what I mean when I say what's a few meters between friends.
No, 100%, right? And if you're creative with your pin placements, this is the way that the system is designed. The system is designed to allow us to do that. Niantic has said that as long as the pin placement is a legitimate pin placement, they don't care, right? They don't care. But what they do care about is that you get it right the first time, because if it's a legitimate pin placement, you cannot move it. And they are strict with that. They're like, they don't mess around when it comes to that. And they've been very, very vocal about that on the forums and on social media and everywhere, basically, that they've had places that they could be vocal about it. So do it right the first time. This is why we come on this podcast, and this is why I'm on Twitter, and this is why I'm talking to local people. I'm saying, like, look at the cells. Just do your research, look at the cells, put the plugins on your computer, do it right the first time. Yes, it takes a little bit of extra time, but if you do it right the first time, you will maximize your gameplay.
Because we can both agree and look at this map and say somebody could have screwed this up. Like, royally, somebody could have screwed this up, and there would have been no way to fix it. And I think we've all seen areas or parks or places, and you're like, oh, sweet Jesus, I wish I could have done this from the start. Like, and this is a message I want to send to some of the, and I don't want to call them gatekeepers, and I don't want to call them purists. But there's people on Reddit, there's people on the forums that are like, I put the pin right where it should be. And if it's in an open cell, fine. If it's not an open cell, fine. And I get that, but I'm like, why are you hurting the people in that area? If you can get 2 and 2's more than 1 and it's legitimate, like why not? Like, it's like people who say, I want to have less fun. Like, why do you want to have less fun? Like I want to have more fun. I want to have maximum fun. And I'm not going to cheat. Nothing I've done here is outside of the rules. Is it pushing some of the gray areas? Maybe. But this is going to let people who come to this area get more spawns, spin more stops. There's going to be 2 more gems, opportunities to get coins. I've increased the fun in this area versus not increasing the fun in this area. So that's how I look at it.
I don't even think it's a gray area necessarily. I just think it's and I'm going to choose my words carefully here. It's you're more educated about the way that the system works, and you're using it to your advantage. Like we're using the system the way that it's designed to our advantage within the rules that Niantic has set out. And I think that if more people did that, more things would be in the game. And like, it's funny to me to watch people get so mad about this kind of stuff when Niantic themselves don't care.
Yes.
Right? Like, if you were to put your pin placement, I'm going to pull this down. If you like your statue, right? If you put it on the back left corner versus the front right corner, because the front right corner is in a cell that has something, but the back left corner doesn't, and now it's in the game, and people are like, that's abuse, you should put it at the front, and then it's like, we don't care. So guess what? Niantic is not a damsel in distress.
Yes.
They do not need you to white knight for them.
Correct.
It's their map. We abide by their rules. And if you don't like it, who cares? Niantic doesn't. Why do you? right? And like there are plenty of things that have happened that Niantic's done that a lot of people have gone like, we don't agree with that. And like there's things that they've done that I don't agree with. Do I cause a stink? Sure, a little bit. But I don't think that that's the correct course of action for this. But at the end of the day, if they go, we're closing this discussion for comments, I go, that's it. They've put their foot down. The foot is down. I'm leaving it alone. Moving on to something else because it's not worth my energy to fight a fight that I'm not going to win.
You're right. When Niantic says it's closed, it's closed. But the last thing I want to say on this, because I don't want to go long, but when people come to Charlotte who are not from Charlotte, they go, wow, Charlotte's got a lot of stuff. It looks like a big city. And I think it's because the city and the people and the reviewers here within the city have all decided that we are looking at the criteria that works for us. Which is why I've argued, Chris, from the very beginning when you first came on this show, that I think local rules should apply. What works in Charlotte might not work in Oshawa, and that's fine. And there's nothing wrong with that. And the inverse is the true also. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It's a global game, but we're not... Think about this. Nobody agrees on anything. So what does it hurt someone in Oshawa if this statue is approved in Charlotte? It doesn't make your game any less enjoyable, and it doesn't give me any more of an advantage. So I think the people who are trying to white knight for Niantic and the people who are trying to remove things from the map, you're just hurting the locals in that area, and you are making it so they're not having as much fun. And that's all I'll say there.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. But like, and I know there's an inverse, and I know there's an inverse. I know there's an inverse. For me, it's and I think things that are local, there are a lot of things that I think are eligible in a lot of areas, but culturally, somebody who's not from that area might not understand. And I think that's where a lot of the problem comes in. But I think that there are people out there who are just like, I'm going to remove everything because I hate everybody. And just like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing?
Yep.
It's like, I remove a lot of stuff. I think I'm like 150-ish since the map has come back. But like, I think maybe out of that 150, it might actually be 160 now. 4 of them were like on the map in some form or another.
Right. Yeah.
Like everything else is just stuff that was imported that's not even power spots. Like,
right. Yep. You're just cleaning it up.
Yeah, I'm just cleaning it up.
All right. You got anything else on that?
I don't.
I'm waiting to see who's going to at me, and I'm just waiting to see. It's going to be interesting. So, all right. Let's go ahead and go to One's Gotta Go, because I think this is a good one. So, we'll play the jingle right now for One's Gotta Go.
One's gotta go. One gotta go.
One gotta go, y'all.
One gotta go.
Wait, one gotta go? Yeah, this one gotta go.
One's gotta go. One's gotta go. One's gotta go. One gotta go. 4 items to be on the list, but one gotta go.
So One's Gotta Go this week. This one, all the credit for this one goes to Aquablast64. So he and I had a running conversation about this, and he's like, hey, I've got a great One's Gotta Go for you. I'm like, lay it on me, brother. What do you got? So, and first of all apologies to the 5th thing on this list that didn't make it, which was Xbox. So this One's Gotta Go is gaming, especially gaming, let's call them consoles. So you guys know how this works. Upper left-hand corner is PS5. Upper right-hand corner is PC gaming. Lower left-hand corner is Nintendo Switch. And lower right-hand corner is mobile gaming. So Chris, Xbox didn't make the cut. I'm not that big of a console gamer, but I've been told by several people that it's an inferior product. So Xbox people don't at me because
you're gonna get
I'm just saying,
so many ads now. Oh God!
I'm told. No, I'm just saying. This is what I've been told, that Xbox is an inferior product.
Oh, you are gonna get so much hate for that. You're gonna get so much hate for that.
I am not even
That
trying to
might
be a
be-
hot take artist.
That might be one of the most controversial things that you've ever said on this podcast. That's going to be great. I can't wait for this to go live.
Okay, all right.
I completely agree with you. I am a PlayStation guy. I've had PlayStation my entire life. I hate the Xbox.
Right.
I have my own. We could get into a whole PS5 versus Xbox, whatever. But
Okay.
I just think
Xbox stands are going to come after me.
absolutely. It's the Xbox versus PlayStation crowds are some of the wildest internet fights that I've ever seen. Anyway, let's get into this before we go down some rabbit hole. I think we showed this to, I can't remember who, we showed this in the podcaster host chat, and someone, I can't remember if it was Justin or Adam, we're just like, hey, you should pick mobile gaming. just we're like a podcast that's basically based on mobile games, like we would pick that would be hilarious.
That would
I'm
be
not gonna do
hilarious.
that. So mobile gaming's clearly got to stay. I do love that this person is playing Pokemon Go in portrait mode, which is fun. So mobile games got to stay. I have had every single Nintendo console that has ever been created. From Game Boy to DS to the N64 to now I have a Switch 2. That's the one that the Pokemon games are on. I am currently like 200-300 hours deep into Pokopia. So that one's got to stay. So this boils down to me for between PS5 and PC gaming.
Okay.
And I don't currently have a PlayStation 5, so I'm just going to go strictly PlayStation versus PC gaming.
Okay.
For me, this is a tough one. I think it's the PlayStation that's got to go because there's too much stuff on the PC that I play. World of Warcraft, I played forever. I met my wife on a PC game. Like that's how we first met, was on a PC game.
Yes.
I play Minecraft on my PC. I know you can play Minecraft on a PlayStation. That's actually where I got my Minecraft start, was on PS4. But to me, there's more that you can do on a PC with like mods and stuff to different games that I think it's more versatile than a PlayStation. And if you were to ask me, that's for me, that's the one console that's got to go, would be PlayStation.
Okay,
right?
okay.
Like Xbox is way at the bottom of the list, but out of these four, PlayStation for sure.
Oh, now you're going hot take on Xbox. I see.
Yeah.
You tap danced around this one a lot. I saw that. I saw the hesitation and what would they say? The bobbing and weaving.
Yeah, bobbing and weaving. Yeah,
bobbing and weaving. All right. So for me, okay, I've had an Xbox, and I had the Xbox 360, not the Xbox X, but the Xbox 3. So let me just say this. I don't own a console. I have over there at the main TV, I have a PS4. If that dates me at all, right? If anybody out there is wondering, and I haven't turned it on in months. I think the last time I used it was to play a Blu-ray, right? So
wow.
It's been months since I've touched that thing, maybe even longer. So I don't have a PS4. I have a PS4. I don't have a PS5. Now, I am recording this on a laptop. I haven't had a desktop computer since 2007 was the last time I had a desktop. Because I've been working at tech companies and they just throw you a laptop and, I'm like, a desktop computer to me is just very impractical. It takes up too much space. I can pick this laptop and take it anywhere I want to go, right? I've got my work laptop over here and I've got my personal laptop in between the two. I'm good. And I know some people out there are very, 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 excited and they build their own PC and this and that. I've never had a Switch. And this kind of goes back to, I've never played a main series Pokemon game. And I know people just I get a big side eye on that, a huge side eye on that. I've played one main series Pokemon game, and it was Let's Go Eevee. And some people say that's not even a main series game, right? And I played it for like, some people say it's not. And I played it for like 30 minutes, and that's it. So, and all the games I've really played in the last 10, 15 years have been mobile. So mobile's going to be my number one. Pokemon Go, Ingress. There's lots of things that I play on mobile that I just prefer because I've got my phone with me pretty much at all times. So given that I've never owned a Switch and I don't have a PS5 and I don't have a desktop, for me, if I was going to invest in any one of the three, the one that would have to go for me would be PC gaming. Because I don't really, honestly, Chris, ever see myself buying a desktop that I've got to sit somewhere and plug into the wall. I'm not the world's biggest gamer anyhow. So for me, that's the one's got to go because I'm not going to go out and spend $2-3 on a PC machine when I don't really believe in the platform. So that's my one's got to go.
That's fair. That's fair. And that's kind of the line that a lot of people draw is setting up a PC to game on is more expensive than just buying a console.
Right.
So I get it. I totally get it.
Yep. Now, I probably will at some point invest in another PS6, 7, I don't know. I said it again, 6, 7. Whatever the next PS is, I'll probably get it because I do want to get back into the NBA and Madden and baseball and hockey. The hockey games have come so far that I really want to get back into it. Like I told you, if we break out a Sega Genesis and we play NHL 95, I will wax anybody. Like right now, let's go. Give me the Colorado Avalanche with Patrick Waugh in the pipes. Let's go. We can go right now. I'll wax anybody on NHL 95. There's people that are like, NHL 95? I was like 2 when that came out. I'm like, yeah, I was taking people's lunch money on NHL 95.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Yeah, me too. The NHL 94, 95, those were really good games.
Might be the best games ever, best sports games ever. I was slick with that one shot.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh,
those one timers. Oh yeah,
like the one timer. Yeah, the one timer. Excuse me. Yeah, the one timer.
Yeah.
I was. He'd have the stick up and the pat. Whoo, boy, don't get me started on NHL 94, 95. Anyhow, all right. We're going to go to break because we've got like 9 different sporting events going on, and I know we both want to go out and watch it, and I know it's Sunday for the people listening, and we don't want to take up all their Sunday, so we're going to go to break. We're going to play some dad jokes, and we'll be right back on the other side.
This is Darker Solstice, and you're listening to the Wayspotters podcast.
What's up, fellow Wayspotters? This is Coach Kev here, and you're listening to the Wayspotters podcast. And you better share this with a friend, otherwise you're going to be sleeping at the bottom of Lake of the Moon with Geodude tied to your ankles.
Season 5 of Dad Jokes. You guys keep encouraging him. This is why we can't have nice things.
I tried to start a hot air balloon business, but it just never seemed to take off. I got a job as a scarecrow. I am outstanding in my field. I bought a pen that can write underwater. Well, to be honest, it can write other words also, but yeah, it does write the word underwater. I used to be afraid of hurdles, but I got over it. I used to be a banker, but I kept losing interest. My buddy told his wife that she should really learn to embrace her mistakes. You know what she did? She hugged him. Cold-blooded. I'm friends with a lot of electricians. Yep, you could say I have a lot of really good current connections. All right, everybody, welcome back to episode number 223 of the Wayspotters podcast. You've got Chris, you've got Jamal, and we are going to jump right into Wayspot of the Week.
Here is a beautiful example of a Wayspot of the Week, which may or may not be a 2-story mural.
Okay, so Wayspot of the Week number 1, I'm going to take it. It comes from Yan MK. And you guys all know how we love a 2-story mural on this podcast. We really love a 2-story mural. This one is probably a 12-story mural, maybe even taller than that. So the description is X Up in the Air mural, and it's a mural located on Inca Street. And I believe this is in Denver, Colorado. And it's showing what appears to be a large high-rise apartment building with a parking deck below it. And it's a big mural. It's looks like there's an eagle, and there's some vertical striping, like some ribbons or a kite, kind of going from left to right, and it's purple and blue and yellow and gold, and there's some clouds at the top. But it looks like it's painted over or masking the main support beam for the building, which is a really cool way of architecturally covering this. And then there's a secondary mural on the left, but this is a really cool mural and a great way to get a residential apartment building in the game.
It is huge and it is gorgeous. It's like got a lot of the angular lines that are behind it and all the geometric shapes that are kind of all over it. It's just fantastic. And it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh yeah, there's like 10, 12 stories there for sure.
Yep. So, Yan MK, thank you. You had a clean sweep last week, and you continue to send good stuff in. So we appreciate it. And so for Chris, we're gonna jump right into topic number 2.
This is Sarah Amanda, and here's some Wayspotters approved points of interest.
Wayspot of the Week number 2 is something that I found actually, and it is To the Moon and Back. Painted by Aerosol Kingdom in 2023, this mural was created as part of the big Free for All Walls event in Windsor, Ontario. This event unleashed creativity and beauty onto the city streets. And this is a mural of an owl. And this owl looks lifelike. Like this could be, if you look at it quickly, you would think this is a picture. And the owl is kind of looking up at the night sky, so the background is like a deep purplish, and there's little specks of light that are meant to be stars, and then right off to where the owl is looking, it looks like they've painted a big star in like a lighter purplish, kind of almost pinkish color, and there's bigger stars in there, and it's an absolutely gorgeous mural of an owl that is just I can't even begin to describe how lifelike this thing is. It's amazing.
Yep, it is. It really is. I love it. And all of our I think we can just kind of officially say this, Chris. From now on, all of our I said topic number 2. I meant Wayspot of the Week number 2. I think moving forward, all of our nominations that we're going to show are going to be from our patron exclusive channel. Because our patrons do a lot for us, and I think it's just the right thing that they put these in there, that we don't need to go on the internet and find just randos. We'll stick with what our patrons send us. I know you make a big point to say it every week, so I think we can just officially say it, that all of our nominations are going to come from our patrons. So we appreciate you guys, and it's just one of the ways that we can give back to you by using your submissions.
Absolutely.
Now, our patrons also send us a lot of things that don't meet the muster, and I love that as well, because they always find an educational way for us to suggest this. So we're going to jump over to one that is Coal-tastic, and it is Coal of the Week.
I've been working on the Wayfarer all the long day. I've been working on the Wayfarer just to pass the... Oh no. Hey Jamal, I found some coal.
All right, so Coal of the Week comes to us again from our patron, Marianne Pokemon, sent us in this it comes from Ohio, and I'll read the description and title. So it's Buckeye Landmark Memorial Tree. there's some, not necessarily grammatical, there's some kind of, it looks funny the way they have it in there. They could have done better. The description is tribute tree planted for Buckeye community. Now, Chris, what you're looking at is a tree in someone's front yard. There is no memorial. There is nothing of a tribute. It is literally, if you look at the map, it's just a tree in somebody's front yard. There is nothing spectacular. There is nothing interesting about it. It is a random ass tree in somebody's yard.
This is clearly an Ohio State fan
Yes.
trying to get a Pokéstop in their front yard.
Right. I mean, I don't even know where to go with this, Chris. It's just a tree in someone's front yard. I mean, this is one of those that I think Niantic could use as what not to do, what not to nominate, because it's clearly PRP. I mean, it hits like 5 different things of why it's coal. It's a tree. It does not fit the it does not fit the title or description. It's PRP. It doesn't meet anything that's eligible at all. There's nothing about this that would ever say this should be a POI.
Yep, 100%. This is like 3 strikes and you're out.
Yes, exactly. I would even probably go so far as to say if I saw this, depending on the mood I was in, I might even report this one because it's that bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Anyhow, you got anything else, my friend?
I do not.
All right, let me go ahead and sign us off. And that's going to do it for this episode of Wayspotters. Now, if you know anything about this show, you know that we cannot end an episode without giving some love to some people who make this show possible. First up is our incredible executive producer, KatettheKonz. You rock. We have to give a shout out to her, and we have to give a shout out to all of our amazing patrons. We really love you. And of course, we have to give a special shout out to Maddie G, our show historian, who has keeping the record straight since day one. Now, we want to give a shout out to our gym leader patrons, Maddie G, Espion Willow, KJ the Man, Herbert, Brandy, PJ, Fisher J, and James. Thank you guys for stepping up to the gym leader section of the Patreon. And we have to give another shout out to our executive producers on the network. So for those of you guys hear us say these names every week. So there's Good Morning Johto, there's Monkey Bread. For Lured Up, there's Xander. For Special Conditions, there's Tish Smith. And for our wonderful podcast, Wayspotters, we have KatettheKonz. So the executive producers on the network do a exemplary job of kind of helping steer the podcast, giving each of the podcast ideas, show topics. There's a special Discord set up with each of the executive producers where they can talk to the hosts, where they can give the show ideas. And we bounce a lot of things off Kate. And Kate is, like I said, she's famous for sending us stuff at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning of what we want to talk about, sending us things for Cole and for Waste Spot of the Week. So a special shout out to all of our executive producers. And then there's a extra tier, our Giovanni level supporter tier for Boris. Boris is like the boss. He's the Giovanni, and that's super cool. And then our newest big patron is Ozark Renee, who stepped up to our Elite Four. So for those of you who are wondering who want to be part of the show and want to be part of that kind of inner circle that talks behind the scenes to the hosts and everybody else, Renee is one of the Elite Four, and we have 3 other spots on the Elite Four if you're interested. So you can go to patreon.com/Pokemon Professor, and you can find out a little more about how you can become part of that. So if you like what you heard today, there's a few ways that you can stay connected with us. Number 1 is you can follow us on social. We are on Twitter at Wayspotters. We are on Instagram at Wayspotters Podcast. And we are on TikTok at I Make Wayspots. We love interacting with you, so don't be shy. Come say hi. Number 2, check out our website, www.wayspotters.com. From there, you can download episodes, you can send us a message, or you can even shoot us an email at wayspotters@pokemonprofessor.com. Number 3, we've got a hotline. That's right, you can call us, 704-426-3710. Leave a voicemail, and you just might hear yourself on a future episode of the show. Or if you're feeling brave, you can tweet us a message directly from Twitter. Now, some of you may be watching this on YouTube, and for those of you who are not, please visit our page, www.youtube.com/@WaysPottersPodcast. And Chris, while the good people are there, what should they do?
Click like on this video, click subscribe, and also click the bell to be notified whenever we post a new video.
And if you want to support the show, the best way to do it is by joining the Pokemon Professor Network Patreon. Like I just said, for as little as $1 US a month, you'll unlock access to the Discord, where you can hang out with fans and creators from all the shows, Special Conditions, Gotta Watch 'Em All, Purified Podcast, Good Morning Johto, Sleep It Off, After Dark Cry, Lured Up, and of course your favorite, Wayspotters. It's a fantastic community, and we'd love to have you there. And the biggest perk about being a patron is you can come to the Monday night Zoom call where all the hosts are there, and you can talk to us, and we hang out for about an hour and a half or so. And it's just a big, everybody who's involved in the podcast and everybody who's a patron, we all come and we just kind of shoot the breeze for an hour or so every Monday night at 9 Eastern. So feel free to come and join us if you're a patron. And that's all we got for this week. I appreciate everybody for listening, for being the best part of the Wayspotters family. We'll be back next week with more stories, more nominations, and more fun. And remember, what's a few meters between friends?